Hey everyone, happy Indigenous Peoples Day, or what's left of it. We used to call it Columbus Day. At any rate, the news is that, first of all, this is a lot of it, last Wednesday, Alameda County Supervisor Scott Haggerty met with John Fisher, the majority owner of the Oakland Athletics, and in that meeting, Mr. Fisher informed Scott Haggerty, the president of the Alameda County Board of Supervisors, that the A's could privately finance their own stadium, or, as I was told by my source who was close to the conversation, quote, "We don't need your money," unquote. That means the scenario that Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf was hoping for, which is to escape from this matter of providing new stadiums for the A's and the Raiders and the Warriors, would leave with the most desirable scenario being two stadiums at least for the A's and the Raiders, no public money spent. Right now, the A's are at least holding up their end of Mayor Schaaf's bargain, if you will. The Raiders met with the Oakland-Alameda County Joint Powers Authority today, Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, earlier. And with a potential developer investor. I don't know the name of that person. I have speculated that would be Magic Johnson or Michael Ovitz or both. I don't know. But I do know that whoever the name is, they met on Columbus Day. Now, and again, it's potential. No deal has been done. The situation is that right now the Raiders are still in limbo. The Carson deal, from my estimation of events down there and my development of a number of spreadsheets on different scenarios for LA stadiums in that area, is such that it doesn't pencil out. And it has a $300 million financing gap. Why? First of all, the way the deal is being done is such that it's not going to use stadium revenues like naming rights to finance it, or at least not finance the whole thing, but at least a portion of it. So if you can't use at least 50% of a good naming rights deal, you are then in a position where you have to rely on, I know this is a little esoteric, but bear with me, other revenue sources from your stadium deal if you say the stadium deal is privately financed. Privately financed, folks, doesn't mean some wealthy person from around the world, or, the Prince of Dubai, comes in, adds millions of dollars, $200 or $300 million, to your property and says, here's my money. Don't worry about it. You don't have to pay me back. That's not how it works. In the Carson parlance, or in the parlance of stadiums in general, private financing means the stadium pays for itself based on the revenue it generates, and that revenue is what is called securitized. That is, it becomes part of a bond issue that investors around the world can invest in, and you can read the performance about it in the local bond buyer. Well, local is a euphemism. It's actually a worldwide newspaper. But I digress. The point that I'm making is that Carson doesn't have that kind of fiscal flexibility, and it doesn't have the flexibility that a large hotel development or a large mixed-use project of a shopping center hotels type would bring, allowing another healthy source of revenue to pay for the stadium over, say, a 40-year bond issue period. That's not part of the Carson deal. So what they're staring at is what caused the National Football League to open up talks with the Players Union, talks that the NFL has been very reticent to discuss, regarding financing a stadium in Los Angeles, either in Carson or Inglewood, both of which have similar financing structures. Although Carson has a tighter one, because the Carson Council has had it written in blood, literally, that the city of Carson would not have to finance any part of a stadium deal or the cost overruns for that stadium. You're talking about a city that's only worth $91 million in total. The stadium that would be built there is worth $1.7 to $1.8 billion and has an annual debt service, if you're looking at a 40-year bond issue, of between $150 million and $160 million, depending on the interest rate. So, put all that together and it spells Carson deal hard to pencil out, Carson deal hard to do, Carson deal may not get done, same for Inglewood. That's what we're looking at right now. Now, with respect to the Raiders, where does that leave the Raiders? It leaves them having to work out a deal in Oakland. it leaves them not, as some media types think, easily walking into the San Antonio market, because you would basically, if you were the Raiders, be going from the 6th largest media market in the country to the 37th largest media market in the country. Oh, excuse me, 36th largest. I apologize, San Antonio, 36th largest. A media market that, even though it's listed as an NFL team market, it is for this reason. The Houston Texans have a substantial radio market draw from San Antonio, as do the Dallas Cowboys. The Houston Texans add up to the AFC team for the state of Texas, whereas the Dallas Cowboys are the NFC team. So, you're going to allow a third team to easily walk into that situation? I know you're saying that in the example of Florida, you've got Jacksonville, and then Tampa, and then Miami. That is true. And those media markets are small. That is true. But I'm simply adding that, given the size of the Houston Texans' current radio market, Bob McNair is going to want something in terms of monetary compensation to give up in order to adjust for the reduction in size of his radio contract that will certainly happen if another team comes into that market. And then why would the Raiders want to walk into a market that would essentially cause a reduction in their overall franchise value? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The Raiders are better off trying to do a deal in Oakland. It's not that they can't get a deal done. They can. But they have to focus on Oakland rather than, okay, Oakland, we love you, but we're really working with Carson. We just don't want you to know it. That's got to stop. But I digress. The news right now is that the county thinks, by and large, that the Raiders have to work with them, and some in the county think that they're holding the cards. While they are evaluating, enjoying their position, and, watching with some glee over the Raiders' dysfunction in LA regarding its inability to really get something fiscally penciled out. When I say dysfunction, I'm talking about the fiscal matter, the matter of how the stadium gets paid for. They are also, now I'm talking about the county of Alameda, focused on waiting for a proposal from the city of Oakland that would allow the city of Oakland to buy the Alameda County share of the Coliseum. That process is moving at a snail's pace. The county has not received from the city what one good observer called a good proposal from Oakland. And given the fact that the county of Alameda is really the credit driver for these deals, I think it's really stupid for the city of Oakland to actually want to buy the county's share of the Coliseum from the county of Alameda. It would lose a great deal of economic power and a great deal of credit power that they have enjoyed for decades because of the existence of Alameda County as a partner. Both could get along in the past. They should learn to get along in the future and learn to get along in the present as well. The county knows this. It's just a matter of the city, with a lot of new players, wisening up to that fact. Stay tuned for more, folks. That's the news right now. But the bottom line, the A's say they can pay for their stadium without public money. And the Raiders met with a potential developer investor, and the JPA on Columbus Day. Oh, and by the way, I did give the A's a copy of my Coliseum Reboot, which calls for no public money. Could it be that they actually took a look at that and said, you know what? This could work for us, and we wouldn't have to use a PSL if we use Abraham's Hotel idea. I'm just saying. I know some of you don't like that I mentioned my concept, but I really don't care.